Hey guys, just gonna play some B-roll of the of Wuthering Waves here. It's spoiler free, just me roaming around with my newly acquired Calcharo. You're gonna see me die a lot. It's not gonna be great, but the whole point of this video is I want to talk about the story now that I have finished the patch one story. Obviously, there'll be spoiler alerts here about kind of what happened and some of the things that went on. So without further ado, story was really good, guys. I don't think people are going to like it necessarily at the very beginning, but I can tell they're setting up a lot of things to come, and they're doing some annoying things on purpose so that the payoffs are better in the end. Anyone that started the game knows the first two characters are horribly voice acted, and that doesn't super change. The rest of the characters, though, do seem to be quite a bit better, so that's good. The story has the typical isekai that main character is the god of the universe thing, and all of the different factions in the games are trying to wine and dine you so that you fight for them. Long story short, you end up choosing, of course, to go with what we think is the good guys with Genshin. And then you end up in this tale of you trying to kind of discover who you are and where you're going. Now, here's where I think the story really succeeded in a way that Genshin just never did. The very first area is pretty much every character you talk to in the main story is someone that you can pull on. So, like, you talk to a bunch of the 4-star characters and 5-star characters, and you get to know them really, really well. I actually like a lot of them now because all of the dialogue was focused around them, and I felt like I got to know them. There was no regurgitation of dialogue, like from a Paimon type character. If you missed it, you missed it. Sometimes that meant I actually would have to go back and re-watch stuff because I didn't realize something important was said until after. Case in point is when I believe you're talking to is it Alto? I think you're talking to Alto about the Black Shores, and he just casually name drops that you've been resurrected before and you've roamed the earth before, but previously it was with the Black Shores, and this time you're resurrected again with a different group. That was cool. That was like really cool stuff that I found out from a main character and not from a side character. So that's huge. Thanks, Sunny Joy Boy, for the sub. So that's like super exciting stuff, right? They're doing important things and they're having the main characters of the story actually say it and not using the side characters. On top of that, in between when you have to do the little like quick level ups in order to get to the next part of the main story, when you're doing the side quests, they feel impactful. So yes, the stories of the side quests are pretty good, but I just skipped them. Honestly, I clicked one button, skipped all dialogue, and just ran to the new areas. It teleported you for the most part to where you needed to go, which was huge. Saved you a lot of time. And then when you would beat like said storyline, you actually made the map better. So you would unlock different parts of the map, you would change the weather, you would make it so it wasn't as hazardous to go around and less of a chore to fight through. So that was super, super cool. Doing the side quests actually changed the world, which makes it feel more like a single player RPG like the game is. So really, really love that. Next thing I thought was really cool is in this game, instead of having them tell you what happens through fade to blacks, and just having a character exposition dump, they would let you just go play as the other character. I thought that was really cool. So there's multiple instances where you get to go play as people that aren't the main character to experience their side of the story. Now, outside of Honkai Star Rail recently doing this in Penacony, that was never really a thing I ever experienced in a gacha game, and it definitely wasn't a thing in Genshin. Maybe they did it once, but I don't really remember. It might be a newer thing. But they're doing this from day one, where I got to play Jinyan extensively throughout the story, which was really, really cool. Helps you want to pull for them. On top of that, you got to play other characters a bit too. It wasn't just Jinyan. You got to play a good number. I won't spoil everyone that you get to play, but that's really like good stuff that they actually let you experience 5-star characters in the story. Although for a short amount of time, they did it for story purposes. So it actually felt like they did it for a reason other than a gimmick. And you got to meet some of the coolest characters in the game. I can't remember the dude's name. I think his name's like General Gensho or something like that. He's Jin Yan's previous like person that was Jin Yan's position before, the old general. I hope he's playable one day. He's really, really cool. Kind of gives me a Riven vibe. Like if you've ever played League, Spirit Blossom, Riven is who he reminds me of. But he's super, super dope, and I loved that. I also love that we got to unlock Havoc MC. That was super cool. Havoc MC is dope. I love the wing and the flying, and you're basically like a fallen angel fighting. I think that's really cool. She doesn't seem super strong, but also I haven't really invested in her, so she's not going to feel as good as Spectro, but she feels good, and I like that we now have a Havoc option outside of Danjin. However, Danjin's probably just better in every way, so everyone's going to use her. Still remembering that Danjin is a girl. Keep thinking that Danjin is a dude, but she's not. Um, Furthermore, I will say the story felt appropriately long. I didn't feel like it dragged on too much, and I didn't really feel like it was slow. There was quite a bit of stuff to do and to discover in the story. A lot of cool cutscenes, and you did meet a lot of characters. Basically, I feel like we met all of the future banner characters on the way for like the next 3 patches, all in this story, in just one iteration of it. A really big fan of the Lion Girl. She seemed a lot cooler. She actually started making me think this game might have a higher rating than I think I thought it did in terms of like ESRB ratings. Just some of the stuff that they've said and some of the stuff they're saying with Yinlin. Big disappointment was that the Yinlin wasn't in the story at all. That was actually kind of surprising considering she comes out in this patch. Calcharo also not in the story at all. Now, they're hinting that these characters are coming, so that's really, really good. And so I know they're on the way, but they weren't actually featured or mentioned. So if you were looking forward to hanging out with them, it didn't happen. Now, what I didn't do is I've done pretty much every single side quest, most of the exploration quests. I haven't done the companion story quest for what's his name, the general, our general. That quest I have just started, but I just haven't done yet. As you can see here, like I've been doing echo farming, just going around the world, clicking on the next echo and running to them until I get the epic variant. Because once you hit, I believe, level 15, you can start farming the gold ones, and that's what you obviously want on your characters is gold ones. So we're farming around and running around for those. That's kind of the video you see in the background. Um, yeah, I've been really enjoying the game. I think this story was told pretty well. There was some dry spells, obviously, where you're doing like puzzle exploration. The puzzles, though, I thought were actually pretty good. They didn't take away from the story like I feel like they normally do. I also want to say that there was some like yapping and dialogue, and I was getting a little annoyed by it. But then like one of the other characters would make fun of the fact that they just did yapping and then simplify, explain it, which I actually thought was really cool because there was a few moments where like I think it was Yanwei or whatever her name is, the first chick you get, where she's just explaining all this ethereal stuff in ways you don't understand, and then Trixie is like, so basically we just got to go over here. It's like, oh, cool. Glad that you condensed that. So that was actually great. I love that. Normally I would hate that, but because she isn't as annoying as Paimon, it worked out to be better. One thing I will say about this game is now that I'm done with the story, all I can do is pretty much what you see here. Roam around the world, kill mobs that respawn pretty quick, and then fight bosses and get better loot. I will say it does feel rewarding that like I'm going to beat this Thundering Mephis and then I can take his soul and potentially upgrade my character. And I can just keep doing this over and over and over infinitely. I don't have to spend any wave plates for it. Really like that. However, I do know that it will get old and it will die eventually, but it'll be a fun thing to kind of, you know, stream and use as B-roll and things like that. I think that's really good because if you've watched previous videos, I don't really have B-roll that's mine. I usually have to watch like trailers or something. But now I can record my own B-roll here and watch that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the different changes there. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to the community. I feel like I've been growing a lot recently. I'm getting a lot more views and comments. You guys have been super nice to me. I'm not used to, you know, the positive feedback or people watching or subscribing, so that's super cool. So thank you for that. Stay tuned for more stuff. I'm not a guide maker or anything. I'll put out thoughts on things as they come up. But mostly, if you want to know what the brand of content is moving forward, I'm just going to be covering all the exciting things happening in this game, exciting things happening in Star Rail and other stuff I'm interested in, and moreover, just going over on commentaries on things I care about. We might do some reactions too. There's a lot of stuff I like to watch and a lot of people I'd like to react to, so we're going to be doing that. I think there's one from Christian Ninja coming up that I'm waiting for him to post so that I can react to it. I saw part of it live, but I would like to, you know, expound on the thoughts. I think it's interesting talking about, is it morally okay to play gacha games? Yeah, it's funny. I was mad that my Calchara got one shot there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for more videos coming out in the next few weeks.